Okay, the Jets 9-5, and they are in the mix, and they're coming off a win on Saturday. It was ugly, but it's a win. And their star corner, future Hall of Famer, we got Darrelle Revis with us here on Tiki and Tierney. Darrelle, how are you today, buddy? What's happening?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Tiki and Tierney?
We are all good, man.
Not bad.
How are you feeling about this season so far? Because at least heading down the stretch, you guys are right on the cusp of getting into the playoffs. And with the Pittsburgh Steelers winning last night, they jumped over you. But BT, who's a huge fan, and I have been having this conversation about what it's going to take for you guys to get in. And really, all you can control is winning out.
Yeah, definitely. That's the situation we're in right now. Of we got to win these next two games to actually get in. This is probably the first time I've become a Denver Broncos fan last night, trying to root for them so they can win that game. And yeah, we just definitely know that it's a little bit more. Maybe pressure on us to actually win out, and it starts with this week against the Patriots.
Darrelle, you're talking about the Broncos game. They had a couple of touchdown lead, and Steelers, and you know this, their offense is phenomenal. It was a good game. Not the result we were both hoping for, but it was a good game. And a lot of players that we chat with, some will say, "Oh man, I just play my game, and then I don't watch football." When you say you were rooting for the Broncos, you actually sitting on the couch watching that game, rooting, earnestly hoping the Broncos. Were you that involved in that game?
Yeah, I definitely
Nice.
was involved, and I think it just goes back to the stakes that we're in at this time as a team. We're having an awesome year, unbelievable year. Guys are stepping up and making plays for us, every week, and we put ourselves where we at. I mean, we do feel good about the things that we've done so far this year, but now, we have to finish out strong, and, it starts, with this game coming up.
Well, you're watching that game, and this is obviously just a hypothetical question because it won't happen unless you guys meet in the playoffs. But how good is Antonio Brown? And if he's on your island, how the hell do you cover him?
Man, I'm a big fan of him, man. He's one of the best in the league, if not the best, and watching him, play, week to week, his stats is off the charts. I watched him last night on TV. I mean, he just, blew the top off every moment he could and made the plays he could for his team. So I don't know. It'd be great, to actually, match up with him if I could down the road, because he's a fun and exciting player.
People will pay money for the matchup. Darrelle Revis for the Jets, 9 wins already, still in the hunt. We'll get to the Pats matchup and even the reunion with Rex, which looms in Week 17. Hopefully it means something. And, Darrelle, listen, if you watch the Broncos game, you had to watch the highlights of what went down with Norman and Odell Beckham Jr. What are your thoughts on that from every angle? First from Norman's, and then everything that, how did you interpret that? We don't see that every Sunday, man.
Oh yeah, I was glued to the TV yesterday, watching mostly all the games, and the Giant Panthers game. Well, first off, it was a great game. I mean, they were up. Panthers were up 35-7, and then the Giants just made a great run. Yeah, the fights, the going back and forth. It kind of brought me back to the Deion Sanders Andre Rison fight years back. I was probably like a teenager.
Yeah.
During that time, and it kind of brought me back, like, the old school football. I think that was being played out there yesterday, and I'm anxious to see what's going to happen. With this whole incident.
Well, he should be suspended. I mean, that's what should happen. The way he acted, like he acted like a knucklehead. There's no way he could play next week.
Do you think it went too far?
Yeah, personally, I feel it was a little bit too far, just because of how the reaction after some of the things that was going on out there. The way he reacted, Odell Beckham, it was pretty out there. So I did. It was a lot. It was a lot.
That's right. Yeah. Darrelle Revis with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio.
Yeah, there's not much else to say. The tape shows itself. But getting to your team, Darrelle, you guys, I know you don't go against them man one-on-one because ones don't go against ones usually in practice, maybe in training camp, but not this point. But the wide receiver combination that you guys have developed, and obviously Decker came in last year. You weren't there. You were at the Patriots, and then Brandon Marshall comes in this year. It is setting. I think it set a record for most touchdowns combined for receivers. What have those two guys meant to this offense? Because before, didn't matter who the quarterback was. There was no explosion. Now it feels explosive when you watch your Jets team on offense.
Yes, I think. Well, I mean, we can start with Brandon Marshall. I mean, I played against him in previous years, and he's always been an explosive wide receiver. He's always been the number one guy to go-to guy, even playing against him. And I think he brings a lot of that passion and you know, that fight, that physicality to our wide receiver corps. And Eric Decker, I mean, just awesome. I mean, savvy vet. I mean, run crisp routes. Very smart out there of you know, leverage wise of getting open. He gets open in zone. He gets open in man, and he's our biggest red zone threat. You know, down in the red zone. So, I mean, those two. I mean, it's great for them to be. To have the tandem that we have and to break records together. I mean, it's pretty awesome, and we can't forget about Fitz. I mean, he's been playing lights out this year for us, and he's been making some great decisions on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm happy you bring him up, Darrelle. Fitzpatrick's had, you know, for those, I mean, watch the NFL, everybody knows this. He's bounced around the transient NFL career. His best years were with Chan Gailey in Buffalo, got the big contract. Yeah, he doesn't have a great arm. He's certainly a little more shifty than people think. And he makes people miss in the open field. It's amazing. And what jumps out to me, Darrelle, and I've seen them all, obviously not Namath, but the recent Jet quarterbacks, I see Pennington in him in terms of intelligence. But other than that, I don't think I've seen the franchise with somebody that has garnered the respect of the locker room the way Fitzpatrick has. I don't think Sanchez had it. I'm not looking for you to disparage an old teammate. At all, but I feel like he's a little different in that sense that everybody respects him.
Yeah, I think you know, through the years that I've been, you know, a Jet, this is my 7th year, and I came in when Chad Pennington was our starting quarterback, and the way that Chad carried himself, his demeanor and the way how he approached the game. That's what you wanted in your quarterback. You know, that's what I came in and what I saw as a player. You want a quarterback who leads. You know, and usually on the football team he is the leader on the offensive side of the ball. So you know, Fitz does the same thing. He has this demeanor about himself of how he carries himself week to week and how he approaches practice and how he approaches the game.
All right, so you got your championship ring. Oh, God, he gets with the Patriots, too. I mean, how the hell do you do this to us, man? I mean, aren't we tortured enough? But congrats, I guess, on the Super Bowl. You're a great player. I was happy to see you win. Just you on that team. Trust me, just you.
BT is an enormous Jets fan.
And listen, I'm not one of these negative Nellies. I skew a little more positive than negative, but that one hurt, man. The fact that, you know, you were gone, whatever. I mean, it's water under the bridge. But I do want to ask you this, Darrelle. You played for a lot of different personalities. You played with a lot of good players and great players. Did you really, truly enjoy playing for wins aside, you won there, but did you enjoy playing for Bill Belichick? Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had a great time, you know, up there last year. I did. I learned a lot, and the approach I took up there was to, you know, take a step back and, you know, just learn. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, the biggest word I can come with is or say is like I just took a step back to learn. You know, his defensive scheme, Bill's defensive scheme, and it helped me. It helped me to where I'm at today of taking his coaching and try to pick his brain and see what football knowledge he has that I can use as a football player.
Talking to Darrelle Revis of the Jets, 9-5. They're playing the Pats this weekend. Got to win out and get a little bit of help. And he's with us here on Tiki and Tierney, CBS Sports Radio.
Darrelle, you just turned 30, and we all know how it happens in the National Football League. You get a certain age, and people start to decline. And back in the day when it was Revis Island, it was 100% going your way. It was 100% incomplete or interception going the other way. The percentage has probably fallen a little bit. How do you assess your game right now, and how much of it is mental as opposed to physical? Because when you were young, your physicality was second to none at that position.
Like you said, I am 30 now, and it's a different approach for me of how I approach the game. You definitely, especially let me go back, especially playing the corner position and doing what I've been asked to do on a week-to-week basis through most of my career is cover the number one guy, anywhere on the field, the left side, the right side, and the slot. I've, coaches seen the ability in my game and what I can do to help the team win, and it takes a toll. I'm sure if you ask, Deion Sanders and the Dale Greens or the guys that, the Champ Baileys of the world, if you ask those guys, it do take a toll on your body. So during this time in my career, you definitely have to take care of your body and be very cautious, what you put in it. And that's all I've been trying to do. The numbers and the stats, they're maybe slightly off, but at the same time, my whole approach now is to win and win big and be on teams where we can have a chance to get in the playoffs and make a run.
Yeah, and the good thing is, Darrelle, like my brother who played 16 years, at some point you can just go to safety and play an extra 4 or 5 years. But Darrelle, you're doing a promotion with M&M's, Crispy. Tell us what you have going on with them.
Crispy M&M's. They're back after 10 years, and I'm back in New York as well. So we did the Crispy M&M campaign last week, it's a whole big campaign about it, and fans came out, and it's a lot of Crispy M&M fans. So it turned out great last week, and check it out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and it was a good time for us, last week.
I like it. We'll tweet that out for you. We'll be going to Instagram and a little YouTube action. Maybe see a little pick six of Tom Brady on YouTube in a couple of days. Can we get that from you?
I'm looking forward to it, hopefully.
Nice. Darrelle, Merry Christmas, man. Good chatting with you, buddy.
Appreciate it. Happy holidays, my friend.
All right, happy holidays, guys.